Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. We've got all sorts of interesting news to cover today based off some different leaks and rumors regarding Season 2. Some of it is pretty solid. I think a lot of players are going to be very excited about it. The other part of it is not something players are probably going to be very excited about, unfortunately. We've got some new information on the loadout mechanic in Warzone and how some big changes might be coming to that in Season 2. And we also have some new information, some new leaks and rumors about that ever so sought after console FOV sliders. So as we cover it all, if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. And of course, if you're new here or if you have not already subscribed, every day I got you covered with all things going on in COD, and right around 58% of viewers watching are not subbed yet. So feel free to hit that sub button, click that bell icon. That way you can always guarantee you are up to date with everything. So let's start first with the whole loadout situation here in Warzone Pacific. As we all know, when we got the Pacific update, when we got Caldera, Raven went in and completely changed the entire loadout system. Obviously, we can still get our loadouts in game, but not nearly as quickly. Back on Verdansk, or both versions of Verdansk, I should say, we could buy our loadout at any given point in the match. If it was 15 seconds into the game and you happen to land on 2 legendary chests and got a ton of money, or if it was, 18 minutes into the game, it did not matter. Now though, here in Warzone Pacific, obviously we gotta wait until the first free loadout drops into the game, and then we can buy a loadout if we so please. However, that first free loadout no longer comes in towards the end of Zone 1. Instead, it doesn't start dropping into the map until nearly the start of Zone 2 moving, and it always is landing inside of the zone, which a lot of the time is a few hundred meters away from where players are at. So actually getting that first loadout in game is probably one of the bigger things that a lot of players so far have said, why is this a thing? I'm not really a big fan of this. Obviously, there are players who are okay with not getting the loadout. They prefer to fight with the ground loot. Makes it a bit more RNG, more standard Battle Royale-esque, but in my opinion, at least, Warzone is Warzone and it's unique because of loadouts. That's the main draw. Players want to play with the guns that they've spent hours leveling up and customizing themselves with the camos that they've gone out and grinded, the blueprints that they've bought, so on and so forth. So I feel like there's personally more people in favor of changing the loadout back to what it was on Verdansk, because that brings the draw that is Warzone, right? And the last that Raven talked about this was a few weeks back, towards the start of January actually, when they were initially talking about how they wanted to nerf the cash flow in game and make it so that players had less cash. And they were actually responding to Teep saying, we're aware of the feedback regarding the loadout adjustment, both for the change and against the change, so the pacing of this is being reviewed. Basically, it has said, yeah, we're aware of the loadout change request. People don't like it. A few players do like it. We're looking into it. We might change it at some point in the future. And that brings us to this past week where some new information surfaced. Keep in mind, this is just leaks and rumors, so take it with a grain of salt. It's by no means confirmed, and hopefully at some point in the coming days, we get some official information on Season 2 with a roadmap, with a blog post, whatever the case may be. And they actually mention this because obviously they'd bring a lot of hype once it is officially confirmed. But according to the Ghost of Hope, and then also a few other data mining and leaking sources over on Twitter, supposedly in Season 2, the loadout delay, the loadout change is being reverted, kind of. So the Ghost of Hope says, as far as he knows, in Season 2, the loadout delay is being reverted in regular Battle Royale. So standard solos, duos, trios, and quads, obviously where we can use any Vanguard weapons, any Cold War weapons, any Modern Warfare weapons, all the equipment, all the perks, all the operators, basically the full-time Warzone content where that's all standard and available. That's where we could see that loadout change being reverted and being brought back to where it was on Verdansk, where we get that free loadout in at the end of Zone 1, then also just before the start of Zone 5. And also, we can buy the loadout at any point in time. And if they do, in fact, revert that change, I imagine they're probably going to end up nerfing the cash sum, just because, let's be honest, at the start of a game, it is very easy to land on a few chests and have like $9,000 within a few seconds, $10,000 within a few seconds. Finding cash is really not a huge challenge, unless of course you have to buy back a teammate, and then suddenly all the cash in the world is nowhere to be found, it seems like. But yeah, off the rip, cash is very plentiful, we could say. So I would not be surprised if they do nerf cash, if in fact they do bring back the ability to buy a loadout whenever we please, especially towards the start of the game. Now, the asterisk here And the reason I say it's kind of being reverted according to these leaks and rumors, so keep in mind, not 100% official yet. The Ghost of Hope also says the loadout change is staying in Vanguard Royale, solos, duos, trios, and quads, but it's not going to take as long to get that first free loadout in. So you won't be able to buy your loadout initially until the free one comes in Vanguard Royale, but it's not going to be, you know, a few seconds before Zone 2 starts. They're actually going to cut that down a little bit and probably make it closer towards maybe the end of Zone 2 forming, the end of Zone 1 ending, more similar to Verdansk and how that was before. So partially, we'd be getting the loadout change back in normal BR, which I think would entice a lot more players to jump into that. Personally, keep in mind, this is just how I feel about the game. If there's Vanguard Royale available, I've actually been playing a lot more of that, even though it is just limited to the Vanguard guns, just because the pacing is a lot better, because the zones move faster, which means you get your loadout a little bit quicker. We also have all the other mini events and whatnot that speed up the gameplay a little bit too, with the fire sales and everything going on there. But the Vanguard Royale pacing just seemed a lot better than standard Battle Royale, where the zone was very slow, no loadouts obviously, so it took longer to get those, and it just didn't feel all that great. So this change, if it does in fact end up happening, would be a huge boost to standard Battle Royale gameplay, and hopefully it does end up coming to fruition. Now, unfortunately, not all the leaks and rumors that we have to cover today are all that positive. We also have some information on console FOV that console players probably are not going to enjoy too much. Tom Henderson, who, as we know, if you've watched videos on the channel in the past, is a very frequent name here. He's a very reliable and very credible source for insider information for various leaks and various rumors. And in a live stream he did recently, he was asked about console FOV coming to Warzone, and he just straight up said, yeah, it's probably not going to happen because it's not technically possible. Now, he didn't really cite anything there outside of it not being technically possible with the old PS4 and Xbox One hardware capabilities. He does apparently talk to a lot of developers and a lot of insiders, so I'm not sure if he got additional information from them, but based off of Tom's track record, it is worth taking his word for what it is, right? So him saying it's not possible is definitely interesting because, I mean, we do have dead silence in the game, and FOV obviously increases for that, and that's pretty ideal. But really, there's no other indications that it could or could not be coming. Obviously, we talked a couple of days back about how Raven and Call of Duty put out a specific community blog saying we want to have all the consoles and PC gameplay be as seamless as possible, which would sort of indicate including things like an FOV slider in future updates. But really, the last time Raven has officially said anything directly about console FOV was back in July of 2021, so over half a year ago. And that was simply saying, hey, we're aware of these requests, but we can't share any details and we have no current timeline for that. So it basically was a non-answer and them not really addressing it, more so just saying, yeah, we hear you, which, let's be honest, they kind of do a lot with a lot of different situations. This one, though, is just extremely, you know, blown up because it's such a massive request and such a huge feature that console really needs. Yet, unfortunately, based off of Tom's information, it doesn't actually look all that likely for this current iteration of Warzone. That said, I would expect Warzone 2, or whatever that's going to actually be called, in either late 2022 or early 2023 to have that, especially if it is, in fact, current gen only with Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and obviously PC. If that's the case, 100% that has to have console FOV in it, or the game is going to have significant issues and significant hate right off the rip. But as for the current generation of Warzone, really at this point, all you can do as a console player is hope that it happens randomly and you wake up to that noti of it finally being live, right? Because at this point, we've had a lot of conflicting information and a lot of conflicting rumors saying, oh, it might be coming, oh, it's probably not coming, oh, they haven't said anything about it in half a year. So it's such a weird situation. Truly, I just wish they would formally address it. Either say, hey, technical limitations don't allow us to have it in the game, or hey, we are still working on it, there's issues with it, we're trying to figure them out. Just address it as the dev. Say something so that it's not just an endless sea of, will it ever come? Who knows? It's a weird situation. Unfortunately, though, not as exciting as the news from the start of the video with the loadout change. But all that being said, that is effectively going to wrap up today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, let me know by dropping a like on it. And of course, if you're new here or if you have not already subscribed, feel free to do so. That way you can always guarantee we're up to date with everything going on in COD. And as always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code WhosImmortal for a discount on all scuff, G Fuel, Gamer Advantage, and Control Freak products, and the links for all those can be found down in the description below. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.